company called Snappy Home Buyer out of Philadelphia. And we're in the Philadelphia metro area. And I was in lead management, then I left lead management. Now I'm back in lead management again. So it's very exciting. And we're very happy that Alicia and her team do our texting for us. It's been very beneficial.
Awesome. And then how many people do you have in your lead management department that are answering these calls?
There's 4 of us.
4 of you now.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Including yourself.
Including me.
Okay. And then their main roles, is anybody doing outbound, or is everybody all fielding inbound calls and doing follow-up to those?
Nope. We have one person who does inbound. If she's on the phone, it goes to our backup who also does our follow-ups. And then we have a cold caller.
Okay.
And sometimes she gets text leads over from us that we haven't been able to connect with, even though we've gotten the lead. And so she just puts them on her list and routinely calls them through the dialer. And then me. I'm the last in line. So if nobody else answers the phone, I get it.
Awesome. So Dom, do you want to just introduce yourself real quick and what you do for the team?
Hey guys, I'm Dom. I am in lead management. I work under Alicia, and I basically take all their inbound calls and do outbound calls and follow-ups, and respond to pretty much anything that comes in. And so I'm like the first responder, so to speak, and just book their appointments and do a lot of their intake and outbound and follow-ups. So
cool.
Basically,
Christine, how about you? Thanks, Dom.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Christine. I'm with Christy Moore team, and I'm mainly multifamily, but I have been answering the phone with the leads coming in as a backup. It's very different than multifamily. They're meaner and angry, and when they're good, they're awesome. But it's very different than multifamily, where they're ready to talk business and let's go. Let's talk about my property. So I'm here to learn all the things.
Christine, you're in the right place. You might be the reason. You're not the reason, but your explanation of what you do is the reason why we're all here. It's so that everybody sees what everybody else is experiencing, and then you recognize that, hey, like this is probably normal. And if this is normal, then how do I turn these people around? How do I turn them from mean into an appointment? And that's what we're here to figure out today. Okay. So Michael, how about you?
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Michael. I'm one of the licensed realtors in Virginia on the Christy Moore team. Like I said, I'm a realtor. I help out slightly with some inbound calls, outbound calls, a little bit of boots on ground, some cash offer stuff with Christy in her other department. And so I'm a little bit of everything, but yeah.
And I think you might have been the one who set the recent appointment from texting that Christy bought, the house she bought.
I think that one was Nicole, actually.
Okay.
But yeah, not
Congratulate
the text.
you both anyway.
Yeah. She bought a condo last week. That was from an inbound call, but not the text.
Gotcha. There you go. Okay. Sounds good. So you both got a closing, or you both got a contract last week. Michael, Nicole. Awesome. Nice job, guys. Nicole, you want to tell everybody what you do?
Yeah, sure. Can go next. My name is Nicole. I'm with multifamily, but helping out for residential too. So handling inbound calls from text messaging. And yeah, you're right. We got a first deal for text messaging, which is awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your help.
Yeah, sure.
Carlo, I know you're the new member of the team in Virginia.
Yes. So name is Carl. I'm the new guy. Also part of Christy Moore's team. Been with the team for a month, and I'm doing residential, texting, calling, inbound and outbound. So yeah. Also basically Michael's sidekick.
Cool. Good sidekick to have. Anna, would you mind sharing with everybody what you do for our team?
Hi, everyone. Yes, good morning. So basically, I'm the one who's handling inbound and outbound calls for the home buying specialist. Usually, it could be either a phone appointment or in-person appointment that I set for the home buying specialist.
Excellent. All right.
Thank you.
Yep. So Anna is Dom's sidekick. So that's that's our
Yes,
it's our team.
that's right.
Connie, I'm gonna go ahead and, if it's okay, just skip over you. We have Connie's new to our organization. She's gonna be calling old leads as well as taking some appointments with us. We have Alicia on here. I think you all know who Alicia is and what she does. Justin as well, new to our organization, here to shadow and watch and learn. And then Jennifer is with Christy's team as well, and she's an agent. Jennifer, are you handling any inbound calls at all now? Are you on that?
If I can get them, I'll answer them.
Okay.
We have a call rotation, so like on the weekends more so I answer more than through the week. So yeah, I answer calls.
Beautiful. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you guys all for coming. I'm going to make this as painless as possible. Couple things I want to cover. Just a real quick overview again of what makes a perfect sales call, why we call it a perfect sales call. Can you guys all see my screen okay? Now, I've added some
Yes.
things to this since you've all seen it before. And the reason I did that is because I think everybody needs to have the right expectations with these texting leads, but even more recently, like our inbound leads seem to be a little more disgruntled as well. So I just put some key points up at the top for everybody to keep in mind. So Connie, Justin, when you guys, like, you're calling leads, it's the same thing. Whether you're calling old leads outbound, and we have a couple ISAs on here that are doing the same thing. You know, we've spoken with them before, but now it's time to call them and see if they're ready to move forward. So text message leads are very much the same way. It's like, hey, somebody new is contacting them now. It's not the person who was texting before. And they're kind of like, it's interruption marketing. Like, you're interrupting their day. So how do we ensure that we have the best experience and we're able to get them from disgruntled to happy to work with us as quickly as possible? That's the goal, right? You have to, what I call, turn them around. Well, number one, be empathetic. So I'll hear Dom apologize for even calling them. It's like, I'm sorry I bothered you. You can script that out any way you want. I won't spend a whole lot of time like pushing on it. What I want you to understand is that if you're empathetic from the onset, and there's a number of different ways to do that, then you're going to have a better call. Another way to be empathetic, rather than just saying, hey, I'm sorry I interrupted your day, would be to say something along the lines of, okay, everybody has always said, hey, I'm sorry to bother you, but it is now a good time to talk. I mean, that's a real simple boilerplate way to be empathetic. Another way to be more pointed with your call, specifically if you're following up with text messages, is, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. Okay, because you did. You sent them a text, you disturbed them. Now they're even more disturbed that you called them. Is everybody following me on this? What it does is it sort of puts them at ease very quick. So when we used to do door knocking, we would always train people that when you walk up to the door and you knock on the door, you want to take 5 steps backwards. You want to stand 5 steps away from the door because you want it to feel like it's non-threatening. So when you're being empathetic, you got to keep that in mind. That's how you have to begin a call if you're calling text leads. Okay. And also it could be any outbound call. So you could be calling to follow up with an old lead that we haven't talked to in a while. You want to start the call with empathy in the same regard there. Okay. Now you might not have to say, I'm sorry for interrupting your day, but you could say, hey, I'm sorry to, disturb you, but I just wanted to see if I could help. So the next bullet point is, I'm here to help you find a solution. The reason why I phrase it that way, and I need you guys to really like just hone in on them, here to help you find a solution, because they want you to have the solution. You don't have the solution. Does everybody follow me? So like in a general tone of voice and demeanor, you can't pose that you have the solution. You have to pose that, hey, I'm here to help you find it. And the best thing for you to do is to continue to talk to me so I can help get you to the next step. And that's the third bullet point. The solution is you taking the next step with me and scheduling an appointment so that you can talk to the experts about walking through this process. How many times do you guys have the seller ask you what the process is? Does anybody ever get that question?
Yes.
2
most
out of
the
4
time.
calls.
Penny's 2 out of 4. Dom, an inbound call, how many times do you think they ask? Percentage or times out of 10 they ask?
I'd
How does
say
this-
that's fair. Right. At least.
How does
50.
this work is
Sorry.
usually something,
Yes.
right?
Usually, yeah. How does this work? Or
How
what's
does
the
this work?
process?
Okay. So again, you want to state up front, in order to get them in the door and working with you to fill out this lead sheet or go down the path of where you walk them through the process of scheduling the appointment. You have to let them know that I'm here to help you find the solution by taking the next step with me. That next step is, can you answer some of these questions so I can get you to the next step, which is scheduling an appointment where you meet with an expert. Okay. So here's the challenge. The challenge is you have to do all 3 of these like that. So how do you do it? Well, some of them you're going to have to give it to them all at once. And some of them you're going to have to give it to them in little bite-sized pieces, because they're going to be yelling at you, or and I'm joking, but they're going to be giving you their feedback like, oh, I don't want this. Okay, well, do you want somebody to help you find a solution? Again, now these are just bullet points for you to understand the tonality of your voice, the purpose of your call, and how to really handle that seller. Okay, we script some of it out down here in what makes a perfect sales call. So what makes a perfect sales call is that you hit all 6 of these points. If you hit all 6 of these points, you got a perfect call. Okay, the introduction. So whether you're calling inbound or outbound, hey, it's Alicia with First Choice Home Buyers. How can I help you? Well, that's if it's inbound. If it's outbound, I want this to, I'll just leave it here. So if it's outbound, you're going to have to tell them who you are and what you do. Now, rather than saying, hey, we're an investment company who buys houses, that would not translate to them why it's important to talk to you. If you tell them that we're local real estate experts, ironically, that's some of your guys' company name. But if you tell them, like, even for us, it would be the same thing. Hey, we're local experts in the home selling process, and we specialize in dealing with tough situations. I might be able to help you out. If you stay on the phone with me, I might be able to help you out. Going back to, we're here to help. Find your solution if you take this next step with me. Is everybody following me so far? Any questions so far?
Nope.
None so.
Pretty standard stuff. But what I want you to take away from this is, yes, this is all stuff we know. It's all stuff that you've already scripted out. But when you look at how simple these 2 sentences are and how quickly you need to grab their attention, don't run off on this stuff. If you start, well, we do this, we do that, here's our value propositions, that now's not the time. Okay. You have about 5 seconds to capture their attention and get them to talk to you. So, Dom, would you mind just doing a real quick intro role play with me?
Sure.
Okay. So, I'll be the seller for now, and then we'll turn it around and you can be the seller. So, ring, ring, you're calling me from a text lead.
Hi, is
So-
this Anthony?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Anthony. This is Dominic with First Choice Home Buyers. How you doing today?
Good.
Good. Sorry for bothering you. I was just giving you a quick call because we had got some information here. And I believe somebody had texted you from the office about a property at 123 Main Street.
Yeah.
Just reaching out to see if you were open to offers on that property here in the near future.
Okay. So let's take a couple steps back.
Yep.
We'll switch it around. You're the seller. I'm you. Okay.
Okay.
So ring, ring, and you're going to say hello.
Hello.
Hey, is this Dominic?
Yes, this is Dominic.
Dominic, this is Anthony with First Choice Home Buyers. Sorry to bother you. I didn't mean to interrupt your day. I got some information here. I know you were texting with Alicia, and we're local experts in the home selling process. We are local, and we specialize in dealing with tough situations where they might need a cash offer. Do you have a few minutes for us to go over some information now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Now, the other thing I want to add in there, if you can get it in there, is you want to, I just learned this from our recent mastermind, you want to compliment them for taking your call. Now, it's tough to get all this stuff out in like 5 to 10 seconds, and I get that. But with practice, it's all possible, okay? Care if you practice this on each other, don't practice it on the prospect. If I were to practice this again, I would say, hey, I really think it was a great, I really think you should be proud of yourself for responding to that text message and trying to deal with this situation. Now that's a little deep into the conversation. I'm trying to think of a better way to script it, like very upfront. But hey, most people don't answer our texts. It's a good thing that you did, because you reached us and we're local experts and we might be able to help you out. Does everybody follow me on that one?
Mm-hmm.
See how it's a little different? Like, it's like, hey, you took action. That's why I called you. And you're trying to get them to feel good about it. So let's try it again, Dom. We'll run
Sure.
it back. Ring, ring.
Hello, this is Dominic.
Hey, Dom, this is Anthony Lyon with First Choice Home Buyers. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your day, but I saw that you were texting with Alicia. I just wanted to give you a call real quick. It's great that you responded, because we're local experts in the home selling process, and we specialize in cash offers in any situation. So I just thought I would call you right away, because we might be able to help you out in this process. Do you have a minute or two to talk to me now?
Yeah, sure, that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Is that better, guys? Does anybody think that
Yes.
would land differently than your current calls? So Dom, if you were to say that to somebody, what response do you think you would get?
If they were already in contact and already had dialogue with somebody, you mean?
Yep.
Yeah, I think they would respond fairly well to it. I mean, because they already kind of have an idea of who we are, and you know, if they had already had some type of dialogue with Alicia or whoever it may be, you know, prior to, then they kind of know that. So it's kind of nice to have that, you know, upfront connection already. So that does kind of help break the ice to a certain degree.
Yeah, I definitely think you need to break the ice with, you know, it's either they were, and Alicia will have to get clear for the different teams on here, whether, you know, the name in their text is Roxanne or Alicia. But for sure, you have to break the ice with, hey, you were texting with Alicia, now I'm calling you.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes, you know, I just, you know, say texting with, you know, Alicia or Roxanne from our team, you know, if I just throw team in there to, you know, one of our team members. Sometimes that helps as well, because they can't even remember who they talk to half the time, or what their name is, for that
Right.
matter sometimes. So,
Yeah. And then a lot of times you're going to get, well, why isn't Alicia call? Why isn't Roxanne call? What happened to Alicia? Things like that. Does anybody get those? So an easy route, not so far. Okay. If you did, then, an easy rebuttal is, hey, you're moving into the advanced agreement. Well, I'm here to help you get to the next step. I can do that if you have a few minutes to answer some questions. So regardless of any objections that they have at the very beginning, regardless of how mean they are or nice they are, you're going to want to transition from that initial intro into the advanced agreement right away. As a matter of fact, like I've heard Dom do it and I'll do it. Like if they have some kind of objection, I'll just usually run right over it and go to the next step. Like I'll just act like I didn't hear them. So before I move on, I want to teach you guys just a couple, like when you're on the phone, sometimes what you need to do is divert attention. So these people will want you to go left and you'll have to like stop and divert attention to get them to go right. Does anybody experience that in a call? Dom, I know you do it often.
I just got called dumb an
Right.
hour before we got on this call because the guy said that he was dumb and he wasn't selling, and I said, he said, oh, you dumb too? I said, no, I'm dumb. And I mean, he wasn't selling to begin with, but it was just the point of we weren't getting into that argument phase
Right.
together.
I think the point here is that you'll need to get used to keeping it moving,
Mhm.
regardless of what happens, regardless of what objections they have. Like you don't want to ignore them all in all. If it's a valid objection, you just say, hey, do you mind if we just cover that in a second? Can we cover that in a few minutes? Do you mind if I have the acquisition agent cover that when they get out to the appointment? I would really like to get through the rest of these questions so that we could schedule an appointment to get an expert out there and give you all of the expert advice that you need. The advance agreement, we scripted the rest of this stuff out pretty good, so I won't spend too much time in theory and trying to push on like every one of these scripts. I thought it was really important for all of us to cover these intro scripts again, because the intro scripts are going to make or break a text call. It's not like an inbound call where, they're calling us and they're saying, hey, help me. Okay. Now, follow up with old seller leads, same thing. Like you have to treat it as if, it's a warm call because they called to sell their house at one time, but it's a cold intro. So you have to handle that cold intro with a little bit of style and grace rather than just jumping right into it. So anyway, the advanced agreement, do you have a few minutes? I can ask you some questions about the property. At the end of the call, we can schedule an appointment for one of our home buying specialists or experts to come out and make you a cash offer. From there, you're usually moving forward. But again, I think everybody, you may have to cover this advanced agreement several times throughout the call. You may have to remind them that this is part of the process. Answer these questions, schedule the appointment, and then I'll get you the expert knowledge that you need or the cash offer that you need. So going back to what I said about them going left and going right, they're going to want to stop this process and they're going to want to say, hey, like, well, I'm just not sure about this. Or what about this? What if, what if I have all my belongings in the house? And you could answer that question on the spot and you could say, well, we have a clean out program and, we'll clean out all the stuff that's left behind. That's a good way to propose the value, but then are they like stopping the conversation from moving forward at that point? Because now they got their answer. The better way to handle that the question would be to say, well, sometimes we clean out the house and sometimes we don't. It will depend on what the acquisition specialist says while he's at the property. But just know that if it's an issue for you and it's something that you want taken care of, I'm pretty sure that we can get that taken care of for you. Does everybody see the difference between answering the question with the value proposition? Oh yeah, we do that. We do it all the time. Well, they got their answer. They might not want to continue moving forward with you. When you answer a question, you always want to try to leave it open-ended. And that is the purpose of actually taking this appointment so that we can figure out if we're going to clean out your house or not. Everybody see where I'm going with that?
Mm-hmm.
And any question or objection you get, you want to continue that same theory or principle that, hey, we're going to get that question answered for you as soon as you schedule this appointment with me. Okay. So then you're going to gather all the information on the lead sheet. You guys are all using those. You know what those questions are. Everyone here does a phenomenal job of doing that. Build rapport. Just something to keep in mind that, you know, you have to be doing that throughout the conversation. I don't think I need to teach anybody here how to do that. Gather pain and motivation and insert value propositions when being asked about the process or about price. Okay. So when you're asked about the process, like, how does this work? That is a great time to put your value propositions into the conversation because they've asked about like how this works. Hey, well, this is what we sometimes do. This is what we sometimes do. Sometimes, you know, sometimes we pay more for a property. Sometimes we pay less. Anyway, I won't dig into that too much, but here's what I want you to see is that if you accomplish all 6 of these things, then you're absolutely going to have the perfect sales call that you can possibly have. Okay. Now I copied and pasted our unique value propositions down below here. Each one of you guys in your companies, you have your own. But again, these can be used when the seller says that this isn't a good fit for you, or this isn't a good fit for them. Then you can use value propositions to continue the conversation moving forward. Just don't try to sell them on value propositions in a lead management call. Sell them on setting the appointment with you so that they get the value propositions. All right.
Okay.
What questions do you guys have for now?
I'm good so far.
Alicia, how about you? Any questions? Anything not clear?
I think everything's good.
All right. So who wants to role play with me and they can get to be the seller who was not nice to them in most recent phone calls. You get to be that person and then I'll role play with you. Any volunteers?
I'll go.
Who's that? Penny?
Yes.
All right. Go
You
easy
didn't
on me.
recognize the New York accent?
I have 2 screens. There's enough on you. I had to flip back and forth. All right, Penny, let's roll. Ring,
All right.
ring.
Hello?
Hey, is this Penny?
It is? Who's this?
Penny, this is Anthony with First Choice Home Buyers. I saw that you were texting back and forth with Alicia. I'm sorry that I interrupted your day. I just real quick, we're local experts in the market with specializing in cash offers. It sounds like that's something that might help you out. Do you have a few minutes for me to ask you some questions and get some information and schedule an appointment with one of our acquisition specialists?
I have a few minutes.
Okay, great. Great. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through some standard questions about the property, just about the condition and things like that. And I'll just have some other questions for you at the end of the call. I'd like to schedule an appointment for you to meet with one of our acquisition specialists to get a cash offer. As we get started here, would you mind just telling me a little bit about the property itself? How many bedrooms and bathrooms?
2 beds and a broken down bathroom. Needs a
I'm
new
gonna-
roof. I have a leak.
So it sounds like it needs some work. And
Yeah,
how
and
soon?
I don't have any money to fix it up. I don't have any money. So,
What has you thinking about selling?
well, I need to have the house fixed. Every time it rains, it's like an extra shower. In one of our bedrooms, we have all kinds of pots that we have to fill because we
my
have a hole
gosh,
in our
Penny.
roof and can't get it fixed because we don't
Um,
have any money. So,
I'm sorry to hear that. That sounds like a pretty tough situation.
yep.
What kind of issues is that causing in the house?
Well, I mean, we're concerned that it's going to have mold
Okay.
from being damp all the time. And, you know, we're older, we can't get up on a ladder to try to fix it. And every time we have somebody come out, you know, they want to come out, they want us to pay them just to come out and take a look at our roof. So,
Okay.
you know, it's not really working for us, but we're kind of stuck because we don't know where to go. So if we sell the house, where are we going to go?
Dang. Okay. Well, sounds like a tough situation. We would be able to help you out of that situation. I mean, honestly, you'd be surprised that we hear these situations often. So you're not alone.
So you said a few minutes. How many minutes are a few?
Yeah, well, I can make this call go as fast as you want. I can go right through all the questions if you want. It sounded like you had a tough situation. So I just wanted you to know that we're here to help.
No,
No.
thank you for that. I
So-
just wanted you to know up front, you're not going to be buying like a $3 million home.
For sure. Yeah, nope, we understand. So let me go through the rest of the questions here if you still can. And it sounds like scheduling an appointment would definitely help you out. So did you have any other questions for me before I go through the rest of these questions?
Just about how much more time do you need? Like
How much time do we need to
5
close on the
minutes,
property?
3 minutes?
Right now?
Yeah, because I have an appointment. So
Okay, that's not a problem at all. How much time do you have, Penny?
probably about 4 to 7 minutes.
Okay, so let's do this. I'll get all these questions answered in 2, and then
Okay,
you'll have 2 minutes to ask me as many questions as you want.
okay.
Okay, has the roof been updated?
I'm sorry.
The roof has leaks, so I'm going to assume that it hasn't been updated
It has not
recently?
been updated.
Okay. And then windows, any updates on the windows, bedrooms or bathrooms or the kitchen in the last 5 years?
No, nothing.
Okay. And then I don't have my lead sheet in front of me, but I'm going to wing this. Is there anybody else involved in making this decision with you?
Yeah, my hoarder husband.
Okay. Would he be available for the appointment?
Yeah,
So we
he's
can meet both
disabled.
of
He
you.
can't, he's disabled, so he's at home all the time.
Great. Sounds good. Okay. And then ideally, what time frame would you need to sell? How quickly do you want to get this done?
I haven't really thought about it. I mean, I'm tired of living in a rainy house,
Okay.
but again, we don't have any place to go. So I guess
Okay.
it would depend on us finding other accommodations and how much money we'd get after everything is paid.
Sure. That makes total sense. I don't want you to have to worry about the repairs. We are investors, so we buy properties in any condition. And typically they do need repairs. So that's something that we would handle.
I have a
well,
neighbor whose house burned down. You should call them.
Would you be able to send me their name and number?
Yeah, I can get
Okay.
their address. I don't know who they are, but I can give you the address.
That works. And typically I would get that address now, but I'm going to keep moving. So Penny, if we come to an agreement on the right price, and we were to come to the closing table, is there anything that would need paid off, such as liens, taxes, mortgages, or anything like that?
We have back taxes from 2021 and 2022.
Okay.
We're
How about
trying
it-
to get that eliminated. And then we have a small mortgage still. I think we owe less than 50,000.
Okay. So there's some things that you'll need to pay off, and hopefully our offer can come in above that payoff. Do you know what other properties in the area are selling for?
No idea.
And ideally, how much would you want to get for yours?
I really don't know, but we would need to have at least enough money in our pocket to be able to move somewhere else.
Okay.
So whether we stay in the area or if we move to like a less expensive area, because New Jersey is very expensive for taxes.
So Penny, I know that you're running out of time here. I want to make
Yep.
sure that we can get an appointment booked with you so we can send an acquisition specialist out. We can make you a cash offer. That would include any of those repairs so that you don't have to worry about them when you sell your house. Would Tuesday at 2 or Thursday at 3 o'clock be better for you?
I have no idea. I don't have a calendar in front of me, and my husband has a lot of appointments, so I probably will have to check with him and then call you back.
Okay. Usually the best thing for us to do is just go ahead and get something in our calendar, and that way we know it's earmarked. We have somebody available for you. And, if that's the case, do you think that Tuesday at 2 or Thursday at 3 o'clock would be better to temporarily book that appointment, and then you can call us back, or we'll call you back to verify?
Yeah, not this week. I could probably do
Okay.
sometime next week.
Perfect. Next Tuesday at 2 or Thursday at 3?
Got anything later?
Sure. What time works for you?
Anytime after 4.
Okay, that works. We'll do Thursday at 4.
Okay.
Okay. And then
How many
we're gonna-
people?
Great question. So typically it's just one acquisition specialist. Sometimes the owner or manager will ride along with them. So no more than 2. But if you want, I can actually get back to you with the name of the acquisition specialist that's going to be taking the appointment. That way, if you want to know who's coming, and sometimes people like to know that ahead of time, we can
Yeah, that
soon
would
have
be
it
good.
assigned. Yeah, I can
That would
send you
be
their
good.
information. Sure. Does that work?
Sure.
Okay.
You have
We
a
will
phone
see-
number just in case I have to change?
Yeah, for sure. If you need to give me a call back, you can call me on my cell phone to reschedule that. For me, that's 717-926-3143. And did you have any more
How'd you
questions
talk
before?
fast?
Do you have any more questions before I let you go?
The only other question, like, how long do we have to get out after you buy the house?
So great question. Sometimes we will purchase the house and allow the folks to stay in the property. That's only occasionally, but there's for the most part, we usually close after the property's vacant. But like I
Okay.
said, we deal with some pretty tough situations and different scenarios. So if it's a scenario in which you need to stay for an extra week or 2, something like that, then we could always do a post-settlement occupancy or lease back, where we buy the home, close on it, and then you would rent it back from us for a week or 2, something of that sort. We're pretty flexible when it comes to stuff like that, so long as we can get it all in writing and everybody agrees to it.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good to
All
know.
right,
It's
Penny,
an
well, it was a
option.
pleasure talking to you. I'm really looking forward to continuing this conversation and relationship with our acquisition specialists. And, just really proud of you for reaching out and trying to take care of this issue.
Okay, great.
Glad-
Thanks.
I'm
Have a
glad
good
we were
day.
here to help. Bye,
Click.
Penny. All right. I want to do more of I think you guys do, most of you are pretty well trained on that section. For you guys in Virginia, are you guys using some type of lead sheet? So for instance,
What do you mean by that?
here, I'll show you.
I have the one that
Like the questions that we're
you
asking.
helped us out with a while back.
Oh, like a script?
Yeah.
Script.
Yeah, we have a script.
Okay, so this is our lead sheet, which is a lead sheet plus script. I mean, we have the scripted stuff over here. When we fill in the stuff over on the right-hand side here. So some of the questions that you asked, or you heard me asking, are on here. I know our inside sales associates, they're reading this, going down through it and asking all the questions. I missed a few. But what's important is that you're asking these financial and then the motivational questions. So you have motivation questions. Why are you thinking about selling? If you decide, so I said, what's the ideal time frame? It's better scripted as if you decide to sell to us or anyone else, what is your time frame? And that way the answer isn't just a number of days. They'll say, if I don't sell it to you, I'm going to sell it anyway. Does that make sense? So again, going back to scripting and how you ask questions is going to really dictate how good of the answers you get. So if anybody needs this lead sheet, please let me know. But the way that these are scripted works every time. And if you ask them this way, it's going to work better than even when I asked Penny. I said, ideally, when would you like to do this? You know, that's not going to, you're not going to get the same answer as if you decide to sell to us or anyone else, what is your time frame? They almost always answer that, well, if I don't sell it to you, I'll sell it anyway. If I don't sell it to you, I'll keep it. Well, those are two totally different motivations. And if I ask them, what's your ideal time frame, I'm just going to get a number. And I'm not really going to know how motivated they are for that number. The same would go for, well, the next one we see, if you decide not to sell, what is the plan for the property? Same thing. Like it's digging deeper into time frame than just ideally how soon you want to sell. Financial questions, if we were able to agree on a fair price for us to buy the property, when we bring money to settlement, is there anybody we will need to pay off, like taxes, liens, et cetera? I did okay on that one. This is another one. Rather than saying, hey, do you know what other houses are selling for? You can say, I haven't done my research yet. Do you happen to know? And then they're going to answer, I did my research, or I didn't do my research, or I have no idea. You're going to get a better answer. Is the property currently listed? If so, how much? And then down here, I didn't even ask her how much, what's the lowest that she's willing to take. So again, scripting is the key, knowing that we're able to pay all cash for the property. There's no fees, no commissions, no closing costs. Great place to insert your value propositions. You can leave all your stuff behind if you want to. You can even pick the settlement date if that you want. What's the lowest you would be willing to accept? Again, scripting is important. And is there anybody else involved in this that, is there anybody else that you would like to involve in this decision, or will you be deciding on your own? Okay. So does anybody on here need a copy of this to help them walk through the perfect sales call?
Anthony, can you hear me?
Yes.
I just have a quick question on that because yeah, most of the time I get these calls that they don't have a place to go. And when you tell them that we can help them with a cash offer, they would usually ask, if you get me the cash offer, then where would I go? So I was just wondering if we can we tell them that we can help them find a place before, I mean, can we tell them if we can help them look for another place, like if we can get their criteria, like their current area, budget, location, so at least it will be the percentage of getting that appointment will be higher.
Yeah, I totally agree. And if you can get any criteria from them about where they want to go, that would be ideal. So if you think back to what we said about them trying to interrupt the call, like it's natural for them to put stop gates up in the middle of the call. Like it's just natural for them to ask questions and say, well, what if this happens?
Yeah.
What if I get an offer from you but then what?
Yeah, exactly.
So you did the right thing, which is, hey, if you move forward with scheduling the appointment with us, we might be able to help resolve that situation for you.
Okay.
By the way, if you give me some criteria now, I can actually give that to the acquisition specialist. They can help get somebody to look that up for you. Okay. You don't want them to think that the acquisition specialist is going to give them that answer.
Mm-hmm.
But we do work with other experts in the area that can give you that answer. If you give me the criteria, I'll connect you with that expert and I'll send your criteria along to them. By the way, the best thing for you to do is to take this appointment. That way, you know already how much you're going to get for the house, and then you can plan accordingly. Now, if it were me and I was on a sales call versus a lead intake call, I would turn them around and say, hey, like, do you actually think you can figure that out before knowing what you can get for your house? Don't you think you need to know what you can get for your house before you plan for where you're going to go? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
Like
does.
you're telling them, like, you actually need option one, which is get an offer on your house so that you can figure out. You need plan A, which is get an offer on your house before you can figure out plan B, which is where you're going to go. It's terrible scripting. Don't ever say that. You guys get where I'm going with this. Like you have to figure out step one before you get to step two. That's just what I should have said.
Yeah. Okay.
And then let them know, yes, we are able to help you. We work with a network of experts, property managers, property owners, and investors who have other rental properties for you to go to, real estate agents who can help you buy a property. We do all of those things as well as making you a cash offer. So set up step one with us where you have an acquisition specialist come out and give you the offer. Then we'll move to step two about where to find a place or how to find a place to go from there.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
was that helpful?
Yes,
Okay,
it
cool.
is. Thank you.
All right. Great call. Great question. What other questions do you guys have?
Mm. Do we also have like a rebuttal for like if they want to fix their property and make the profit out of it? So they would rather fix it up first before they sell it. Because usually they would need time, right? That will take them longer to sell the property because they would need to fix it first.
Yeah. So a rebuttal for that would be, I would say something along the lines of, I can understand why you would want to fix the property up and get the most amount of money. Some of those repairs might not get you more money. So what I would suggest is you meet with us and see what an as-is offer would be without making repairs. And our real estate expert who attends the appointment will also be able to tell you what you can get for your home if you were to make those repairs. By meeting with us, you'll actually get both options. And that way, you're not going and making repairs that you might not get more money for.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Good answer. That's
Yeah,
a really
I'll
good
take note of
answer.
that.
Perfect answer. Perfect answer.
Yep.
Okay. We should probably do this more often. What else you guys got? Alicia, can you tag me in a blank lead sheet real quick? Or do they, or does it come in the PDF and then they fill out the PDF? I always thought it was an Excel sheet.
It's a couple different ways. It kind of depends on their like however their computer is set up or whatever. But yeah, I can send you both the PDF and the Excel sheet.
Which one would be good to just share in the chat here real quick so that everybody has a copy? Just some like a blank one, I can send them a link and then everybody can just grab it out of the chat box here. Because you know, as soon as I get off this call, I won't be emailing Jack out.
But send us the recording.
Whoa. I need all the things.
Would it be easier, Alicia, to just send these questions to you or Anthony, and then Anthony can just fill it out at his earliest convenience? Because I still have another question.
Go for it.
Like for the I mean, if they think they're just going to rent the property, do you have like a good rebuttal for that? Instead of selling it, they just, they would rather rent the property.
Yeah, if they want to continue renting, that's a tough one because now they're basically saying that they're willing to just continue with what they have. And they don't really have a lot of pain and motivation when it's rented and they're making money.
I'll tell you one thing I say if I get any sort of this is Jennifer, by the way, any objection like that is I'll say something like, do you want to continue being a landlord?
I love that.
Because that usually is like a source of pain for most people as being a landlord. Most people don't enjoy it. And so if you ask that kind of direct, people will tell you like, no, I don't really want to, like, and then you can get to the source of like what's really going on.
Okay. I
Excellent
think
job,
that's
Jennifer.
better
Thank you.
instead of asking them what would be their, deciding factor
Mhm.
between selling or keeping it as a rental property.
Yep.
Okay.
Awesome. Great job. Alicia did update, or if you guys all go into the chat, you can you can copy and paste the text or download the Excel spreadsheet that says blank lead sheet. Just help you with some, just some scripting issues, or not issues, but rather just sharpening the axe. And then I'll also take this perfect sales call lead intake sheet and drop that in the chat as well. All right, we got a couple minutes left. What else do you guys have? What other questions do you have, or recent objections that you've heard? How about with texting specifically? Anybody get like some major pushback?
I don't deal with the text that much, but is it super effective, or is it more effective when we actually get people on the phone, like having verbal conversations? Just
The
curious.
It's super effective to have the verbal conversation as quickly as possible. The longer
Sure.
you keep them on text, the
Mhm.
chances of them working with you dwindle exponentially
Okay.
from what
So-
we've found.
So is it more like you're trying to engage them on text and then immediately doing a phone call to engage them verbally?
Yep. Alicia, Penny, do you guys want to answer that?
Yeah,
Mhm.
so just to give some context, we're closing on 3 text properties this month. Our third one closes on Thursday. So it is very effective, and Alicia sends the information over and we immediately call them. Now, does every call turn golden like that? Absolutely not. Half the time said, I never texted with anyone. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
But a lot of people are, and these are people that we've sent direct mail to and sent cold calls to that never responded to us. They responded to the text. So,
Yeah, I agree. I get most of my appointments via text.
Cool. Alicia, any context you'd add to that?
Sorry, I had to answer a call.
Guess we got everybody on here.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to have those people that aren't the nicest, or that say, they just want to talk to they'll say like, yes, they're interested just to get you on the phone to complain to you. So don't let that like discourage you, because there's, just like Penny said, there's definitely deals in there. You just have to kind of go through the not so nice people to get to the sellers.
Yeah, last time I checked, we were scheduling appointments with somewhere between 25 to 30% of text leads. It's pretty high. So 1 in 4 is a great number for texting. Because it's outbound marketing. It's not inbound calls. So but yeah, and then at the end of the day, you have to realize if you're the one calling them, that 3 of the 4 just are not going to work out, and you can't take it personally. So, anything else? Set. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on. Just take another moment to download any of the stuff that we have there in the chat box, if you haven't already.
Yeah, and if you guys have any questions or need help with anything or anything like that, just you can email me, call me, text me, whatever you need to do, and I'll definitely try to help you out.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
See you guys. Nice seeing you all again.
You too.
Yeah.
Bye, Anthony.
Bye.
Don't be a stranger.
See ya.
Like seeing you smiling.
I'm always smiling, Christine, just not in your level 10s.
Well, smile today. Yay, we get our first deal for multifamily, so woohoo,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, good luck. Hopefully you're wrapping that up.
yes.
Good stuff. All right,
All
see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.